Do you remember the kidnapping from Hot Springs last April? After 9 p.m. on April 18th, 2022, a 17-year-old was getting off work at a bakery in Hot Springs. She walked out of her job with a coworker. When they walked out towards their vehicles, there was a girl out in a parking lot, someone close to their age that was standing out by their car. The person asked to use their phone because she said her parents were staying in a condo in the Hot Springs area, but she was lost and she wanted to use the GPS on a phone to make it back to where her parents were. While the coworker left to go get her own vehicle from a parking garage that was nearby, the victim stayed there with the woman that was standing out beside her car. When the coworker got back to where she had left the victim staying, the victim, the car, the other person, they were all gone. I don't think that anybody really knew what was going on at that time. It wasn't until the victim's mother was able to make contact with her on her cell phone. The victim told her mother that she was okay, and then a man came on the line and said that if he didn't get $10,000 that he was going to murder the victim. And at that point, I think that's when police figured out that this wasn't a runaway situation. This wasn't a stunt. This was serious, because it was at that point that police decided that it was in the best interest of the victim to do an Amber Alert. An Amber Alert wasn't done when the victim first went missing. It wasn't done until after that ransom demand. So it wasn't until sometime on the 19th that the victim wandered into a liquor store in Hot Springs. She had minor injuries, but she was as okay as a person could be under that situation, I guess. Shortly after that point, arrests were made in this case. So the two arrested were 21-year-old Dayla Ferrer and 40-year-old Samuel Bolling. According to federal prosecutors, Dayla Ferrer and Samuel Bolling made an agreement that they were going to kidnap a female from the Hot Springs area and demand a ransom from that female's parents, which is what they did. Now, last October 2022, Dayla Ferrer and Samuel Bolling both pleaded guilty to the charges that they were facing. They were both charged with kidnapping and conspiracy to commit kidnapping in federal court. It wasn't until November 2nd, 2023 that we really got a complete as is going to be, picture of what happened on that day in April 2022, and that Dayla Ferrer and Samuel Bolling were both sentenced. So Dayla Ferrer did take some responsibility for the kidnapping, but she said that she was also a victim of Samuel Bolling. She said that Samuel Bolling targeted her when she was a teenager and lured her into his trap. According to Dayla Ferrer, Samuel Bolling promised her a new life and a fresh start in Hot Springs. So they came to Hot Springs, but when they came to Hot Springs, there was a conversation and they made an agreement to kidnap a victim. So Dayla Ferrer asked to borrow the victim's phone and led the victim to her car. Once the victim got inside the car, she was attacked by Samuel Bolling. He put a cover over her head. She was struck in the head, and then she was taken to a condo outside the Lake Hamilton area. While the victim was being held inside the condo, she was being held in a bedroom, but at some point, she was also sexually assaulted by Samuel Bolling. As a result of the kidnapping and the conspiracy to kidnap, Dayla Ferrer was sentenced to 15 years in federal prison. Now, Samuel Bolling is another story. Samuel Bolling was actually sentenced to life in federal prison, meaning he ain't ever going to get out. In federal prison, you have to serve 85% of your sentence before you are eligible for parole. So Dayla Ferrer will have an opportunity to be released after serving just short of 13 years in federal prison. Now, at that point, she can have the opportunity to turn her life around. Dayla Ferrer, while, maybe she was a victim, just like she said, I'm not doubting that, but she did also participate in the kidnapping of the 17-year-old that will forever change the victim's life too. And yes, I think that taking responsibility for her crime and taking a plea deal, apologizing for what she did, yes, that is a big step. But also, I do hope that Dayla Ferrer turns her life around too. What are your thoughts on this case and these sentences? Thank you for watching A Case for Arkansas. Please remember to subscribe, like, comment, and share.